Hello, I am Richard A. Boxall, and this is my short and almost daily podcast in which I chronicle my life and attempt to be a writer by writing daily-ish.
You're listening to the diary of a wannabe writer, Season 3.
Hello, it's Wednesday, the 5th of August 2026. Welcome to the show. Sorry you didn't hear me the last couple of days. I've really struggled to do some writing. I think it was because I had a very long day at work. And it totally wears me out. So when I start the day, when I wake up and I already feel tired as soon as I wake up, you know I haven't recovered from the previous day's work. And, you know, and I have had enough sleep. Last night I had enough sleep, whereas the night before I probably didn't, but I still feel absolutely shattered. I'm hoping I'll feel a little bit better tomorrow and continue editing chapter 30. We shall see. But the topic of today, and I've preempted it with an image on my social media, is that it has been announced for a ridiculous amount of money, which I'm not going to talk about, that the original BBC adaptation of The Lord of the Rings is being made available on vinyl. Now, this is a 13-hour epic that in some way kind of preempts what Peter Jackson then did with his movies. And I have a very... I have an interesting relationship. Well, it's not interesting. I just do have a relationship with this piece of drama. So from memory, it was released on BBC Radio 4 in 1981. I'm not going to double check that, but it's around then. And it was originally transmitted in 26 30-minute episodes. Now, it's the first time that I'd listened to radio drama. I think my mother kind of said, "Oh, but they're doing this, you'll probably like that." So I listened to the first time, I think, to a radio drama, and I absolutely loved it. I fell in love with it, and it was it repeated? It was repeated. I can't remember when, but not that many years later, it was repeated. And what they did was they edited it into 13 episodes. Instead of being 26 half-hour episodes, they edited it down into 13 1-hour or 55-minute or whatever it was episodes. And when it became commercially available for the first time, which was on cassette tape, I wanted to buy it, and I saved up, and I asked permission. I had some savings, and I asked permission to take some money from the savings. I can't remember whether my parents let me at the time, but I do remember it cost £35 for this. I can't remember if it was a 13 or 14 tape set. But it's because I can't remember, because my memory's getting a little bit confused with subsequent releases. I think it was only 13. I think it just had the episodes on it. But I loved it. I absolutely loved this 13-ish hour masterpiece. I thought the acting was great. I just thought everything about it was wonderful. And however many years on, nearly 50 years on, well, 45 years on, I still think it's a bloody masterpiece. I still absolutely love it. And one of the things I love about it is who plays Frodo. Now, when Peter Jackson announced he was making a movie of The Lord of the Rings, I remember saying to a friend of mine at the time, wouldn't it be great if they cast Ian Holm as Bilbo? Because Ian Holm had played Frodo on the radio play. And I remember just messaging the friend of mine saying it would be, not only would it be good casting because he'd make a great Bilbo, you know, because he was an older chap at the time, I said, but also it would be a wonderful piece of continuity, a wonderful little nod to the original. Now, I'm not convinced that's the reason they did it, but obviously they did cast Ian Holm as Bilbo, and as he plays Frodo in this marvellous radio production. So why am I so interested in buying it again? Because not only did I buy the tapes when I was little, several years later, I think I must have been in my 20s, they released it on CD. And again, the version on CD was the version that had been edited into 13 1-hour episodes. And I think this is where the confusion about the 14th tape comes in, because it did have a 14th disc because it had the soundtrack, it had the songs and the music really put on the end. And I think maybe it was originally released as a soundtrack album, but not with the audio. So I think if I'd wanted to buy the soundtrack, I'd had to buy it separately from the drama when it was released on tape. Anyway, so what they're doing this time round, every commercial release has been the 13-hour version, the 13 one-hour episode version. However, this new version that comes out in December is going to be available on both CD and vinyl, and it's the original version. It's 26 half-hour episodes. And I honestly think it's always worked better in 30-minute chunks, particularly because it was almost like this episode was concentrating on this event, and then on the 1 hour version, sometimes the episodes felt a bit disjointed because it would feel like it switched emphasis halfway through. Well, because it did, because it's 2 episodes edited together. So I think the third, and somewhere for a long time, I found an old cassette tape where we'd recorded off the radio, I think it was episode 14, titled Helm's Deep. And it's just a masterpiece of audio. It's a masterpiece of storytelling. It's got some amazing casting. In some ways, I still prefer the casting in the radio play to the casting in the films. There are some exceptions in that. I thought Sean Bean was a far superior Boromir. Boromir feels not like an incidental character, but less of an important character in the radio version. Michael Hordern, was it Michael Hordern? The guy who did the voice for the Paddington cartoon anyway, is Gandalf in the original. He's good, but obviously you listen to it and you can't just help thinking of Paddington Bear. And then you've also got a guy called Peter Woodthorpe, who I thought was absolutely superb as Gollum. And there's another link back to a movie there, because Peter Woodthorpe played Gollum in the animated version of The Lord of the Rings, which I think came out before the radio drama. So there's some lovely links to both versions of the thing. I love it. I absolutely love it. There's no way I'm going to be able to resist buying this, unfortunately. And being me, I'll want to have a digital copy as well, which means I'm going to end up buying both the CD and the vinyl, but I consider it worth every penny. I can't wait to listen to it on vinyl. And again, it's a 14-disc vinyl and CD set, so it's got one disc, whether it's a vinyl disc or a CD, will have 2 episodes on it, presumably one each side on the vinyl version. And then they will do, the 14th is the soundtrack. It looks stunning. I don't need it, but I'm not going to be able to resist it. It's scheduled to come out on the 6th of December. Yeah. So that's something to look forward to. Anyway, I need to get back to writing. Thank you so much for listening. And I'll talk to you again at a similar time tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.
You have been listening to The Diary of a Wannabe Writer, presented by me, Richard A. Boxall. Thank you for tuning in to my cogitative considerations, and if you'd like to know more about me or my projects, visit my link tree on linktr.ee/Richard Writes. Capital R, capital W. Thank you for listening.